Coming up, get an update on the Miracle League playground and when construction is expected to begin. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for July 1st, 2013. I'm Felecia Payne. Thank you for joining us this evening. It is now officially illegal to smoke inside public buildings in the city of Troy. The city's new smoking ordinance went into effect last Friday. Under the new ordinance, it is now illegal to smoke inside any public buildings in the Troy city limits. The updated smoking ordinance was passed unanimously by the Troy City Council last Tuesday. Any resident caught smoking in a prohibited area can face a $50 fine. Business owners could face up to a $500 fine for violation of the ordinance. Smoking is allowed inside private residencies and vehicles. Smoking is also permitted outside of buildings, as long as it is at least 20 feet from an entrance or exit. You can read the ordinance in its entirety on the City of Troy's website, troyal.gov. The opportunity for children of all abilities to play together on one playground in the city of Troy will hopefully be a reality as soon as construction on the Miracle League playground is scheduled to start in the coming months.
The goal of providing a playground for children of all abilities to be able to play with each other is now even closer to becoming a reality.
Miracle League Playground, that motto is every child deserves the opportunity to play. And we believe this playground will give a lot of children opportunities to play on the playground with or without special needs.
The playground is designed not to stand out as a handicap-accessible playground at first glance, but Smith says it will have features to help those with disabilities to have as much fun as possible.
To look at the Miracle League playground, it will look just like every traditional playground, except it will have a lot of accessibility features which allow children with special needs to be able to utilize everything on the playground. There will be many other sensory items and activity panels and such that children with autism and other special needs will really enjoy.
A vote by the City Council approved the price and building plan of the Miracle League playground. And because of donations and fundraising, the playground is going to be even bigger than originally hoped for.
What we had approved approximately a month ago was for a $171,000 project. Our fundraising has been so successful that we now can purchase everything that was originally bid out.
And now that the plans have been approved, construction is scheduled to start in the coming months.
We will be expecting the equipment for the playground to be delivered approximately the first week of August, and construction will begin in August, and we hope to have the playground complete by the first week of September.
If you would like to make a donation, you can visit the Troy Recreation Center on Enzer Road or visit their website at www.troyrecreation.org. And now taking a look at news from around the state. Attorneys for Jefferson County have filed a 101-page plan to exit the largest municipal bankruptcy in American history. The plan calls for cutting the county's $4.2 billion debt by more than $1.2 billion and raising sewer rates annually by 7.41% for 4 years. And in Birmingham, authorities have identified a man who drowned while trying to unclog a drain in the deep end of a pool. Officials say 53-year-old David Spearman and 2 of his friends were trying to unclog a pool drain on Saturday afternoon when he drowned. And in Montgomery, Alabama has several new laws taking effect Monday, including one allowing the state parole board to issue a posthumous pardon for the Scottsboro Boys. The founder of the Scottsboro Boys Museum, Sheila Washington, says paperwork will be filed soon asking the board to issue pardons, removing rape convictions that occurred more than 80 years ago. And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News. The Trojans have some new opponents to compete against in the Sun Belt Conference. Mitchell Spoon has all the details coming up in sports. But But first, wildfires in Arizona claimed the lives of 19 people fighting the blaze. We'll have more on the details coming up after the break.
19 firefighters' bodies have been removed from this mountain. I'm Melanie Woodrow in Congress, Arizona with the latest.
Severe death.
A massive earthquake has rocked the city.
Worst natural disaster this region has ever witnessed.
When a disaster strikes, time is a killer. The UN Central Emergency Response Fund jumpstarts relief efforts, which saves lives. Help us help in time. Donate now at rapiddisasterrelief.org.
I would tell anybody, if you're getting your master's, I would start with Troy first.
It's easy. You can take classes online, you take them on the ground.
Because being a full-time mom, full-time dad, and working full-time with Troy, it was just perfect. It worked for us.
On campus or online, Troy offers you an extraordinary education with the flexibility you need. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
We both earned our masters in public administration, and I choose Troy.
We choose Troy.
That's right. We choose Troy.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hundreds of firefighters are battling a deadly wildfire that is still raging in Yarnell, Arizona. It killed 19 members of an elite fire crew on Sunday. Melanie Woodrow has the latest details from Congress, Arizona.
A police escort led a line of white vans carrying the bodies of firefighters killed Sunday battling a massive wildfire in Arizona. The 19 firefighters were members of an elite team called the Granite Mountain Hotshots.
To the friends and the family of those lost yesterday, I know we can never fully repay the sacrifices made by your loved ones.
The Hotshots were fighting on the front line of a wildfire that is still raging. The wind-driven flames suddenly changed direction toward the crew, and the members tried to take shelter in small fireproof tents that are used in emergencies. Each member of the crew was wearing a belt pack like this one. The firefighters dig a hole in the ground and then they cover themselves up with this fire-resistant material. It's only used in extreme emergencies, and it gives the firefighters about a 50-50 chance of survival. Fire officials say some of the firefighters were found inside their shelters, others outside. One member of the crew escaped the flames and is being treated at a hospital.
It was terrible. I mean, the ambers was about that big around, and they were just flying everywhere.
George Hunter says the house he and his family lived in for 26 years is now gone. He escaped with a few precious items and knows he is not alone in this tragedy.
My heart goes out for those 19 firemen that lost their lives, you know.
President Obama called the 19 dead firefighters heroes. Melanie Woodrow for CBS News, Congress, Arizona.
Congress failed to hammer out an agreement on student loans last week. That means that starting today, interest rates double for millions of students. Danielle Nottingham is on Capitol Hill with the story.
Students are already filling out the paperwork for their college loans, and as of today, interest rates for millions of them have doubled.
It's bad news for us students because we're going to be in a bad situation, when we get out.
The rate on subsidized government loans jumped from 3.4% to 6.8%. The increase does not apply to existing loans, only to new ones, affecting about 7.5 million borrowers. Lawmakers failed to reach a deal after floating several proposals to stop the increase. Many agree that student debt is a financial crisis that will take a toll on the broader economy.
People in their 20s are putting off home purchases, or putting off automobile purchases, are not doing what their parents' generation did because they have so much debt.
Both Democrats and Republicans say they want to deal to stop the increase in student debt, but lawmakers have left the Capitol for their July 4th break. Senators say they'll take up the issue again after the recess, possibly scheduling a vote on July 10th. Republicans favor a proposal that would link rates to the financial markets. Democrats prefer to extend the current rate for a year while they work out a long-term solution.
I have no idea what's going to happen in 3 or 4 years when I'm faced with paying this stuff.
If Congress does not act, the rate hike will add thousands of dollars to the cost of a college education. Danielle, Nottingham, CBS News, Washington.
Egypt is on edge today after massive protests turned violent. Hundreds of thousands of demonstrators took to the streets of Cairo calling on the country's president to step down. Lucy McDonald reports.
Protesters angry with Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi threw a door out of the window of his Muslim Brotherhood headquarters. Opponents of the government ransacked the building and set it on fire after attacking it with fire bombs and rocks. Across town in Tahrir Square, the symbolic home of Egypt's revolution, hundreds of thousands of protesters gathered on the first anniversary of Morsi's inauguration. Their message was clear. They want him out.
We give him 1 year, full 1 year, and he failed completely.
Protesters blame the country's first democratically elected leader for Egypt's economic problems and for promoting an Islamic agenda. Not since the ouster of former President Hosni Mubarak in 2011 has there been such unrest. At least 10 people died on Sunday, but the protests across Egypt have been mainly peaceful. The opposition has given Morsi a Tuesday deadline to quit. Morsi has admitted to making mistakes, but showed no signs of stepping down. His supporters have staged counter-rallies. This man says, "We are here to show the world that the people want President Morsi to stay." But protesters are also staying. Hundreds remained in Tahrir Square Monday morning, getting ready for more demonstrations. Lucy McDonald, CBS News.
And now Mitchell Spoon joins us with sports. So Mitchell, I hear that we have some new opponents in the Sun Belt. What can you tell us?
That's right. We added 3 new opponents today, but I'll get more into that starting right now. The new Sun Belt is finally here. Over a year after receiving their invitations to join the conference, Georgia State, Texas State, and UT Arlington are officially members of the now 10-team league. The Sun Belt will now contest the 2013 football season with 8 members, with Georgia State and Texas State being the newcomers. UALR and UT Arlington will compete as non-football members. And in the 2014 season, the Sun Belt will once again open its arms and welcome Appalachian State and Georgia Southern as all sports members, and Idaho and New Mexico State will join as football-only members. The conference also recently unveiled its new logo, brand, and mantra, which is "Together We Rise." Welcome aboard the Sun Belt, fellow opponents.